So today is one of those days when we have to revisit again some of the existential issues we discussed as Arsenal fans as to why Arsenal may not win the 2024-25 season. And they are still plaguing us up until now. Take a look at it. And I'll start from Michael Oliver, who, in my opinion, ruined today's game against Wolves, even though Arsenal ended up winning the game 1-0. For me, this will have been another example. This is our fourth red card of the season. Don't forget, in 2023-24 season, Arsenal had only 2 red cards in the entire season. This season, Arsenal have managed 4, and we're just at the midpoint of the season. When we got into this game, within the week I saw that Michael Oliver was going to be the ref of the match, and I was really worried. And I thought to myself, not again. It looked like a perfect setup where the referee was going to be the one taking center stage instead of the game itself, and I really felt bad for that. Coming into the game just before halftime, when we're about building momentum and getting to get that goal that gets us up and running, a red card to Marcus Kane. For me, that was unacceptable. The inconsistency is really consistent, and I think the Premier League, if they must maintain their status as the top league in the world, they must start addressing issues like this. It's just not right. Michael Oliver has been single-handedly the ref to have issued the most red cards to any Premier League team, and that team is Arsenal. 8 red cards against Arsenal. And if you check, most of those decisions are controversial. Now, for me, that is not a coincidence. And if I am to have my way, I would say he should not officiate any Arsenal games in the future. At least he should be investigated so that we can understand why it appears to be like every time he makes a decision, there has to be some questions or conversation. And don't get me wrong, Arsenal fans are one of the most critical about their performances. When things go wrong, Arsenal drop points for whatever reason. We first go for the manager, we go for the squad rotation, the squad selection, the performances on the pitch. We go first, hard on our players, hard on our manager, hard on the board and everybody else. But we just don't like to give excuses. But when we see very blatant inconsistency in officiating, it really robs off all the energy that should make everyone focus on the game and not anything else. It's just a distraction as far as I'm concerned. Now, that aside, we talked about at the beginning of the season when Arsenal were actually even flying 4 or 5 reasons why Arsenal may not win the league. And I want to circle back to some of these things just because we're at that point where we are at the precipice, we are at the edge. At this stage in the season, we are out of the FA Cup to probably the worst Manchester United side in history. We are 1 leg out of the League Cup, and if we don't perform a miracle against Newcastle in the second leg, we'll be out of the League Cup as well. Now we have pretty much just the Champions League and a slim chance in the Premier League if we can kickstart our engines and get a very solid run going against this Liverpool side that don't look like they're about to drop points at any time. Now, what are the issues? We really can't control refereeing officiating decisions because to me, they will always give an explanation to every red card and every inconsistency. But there's just so much we can do. We've managed 4 red cards this season so far, and nobody knows what is going to happen next. But at least for the things we can control. When we got into this season, we knew that we were a bit short. We knew that the depth of the squad, really, what can you really do against? You really don't know who is going to get injured or who is going to pick up some kind of injury or the other. This season, we've lost Bukayo Saka. We've had Martin Odegaard out for weeks, and it has really cost us. We've had Kiri Jesus out till the end of the season. Ben White has been out, and several other players have been out for spells. But at the end of the day, it all adds up. We've seen time and time again how some of these injuries cost us. In I think 07-08 season, Arsenal were gunning for the title, and we had an injury to Eduardo da Silva, and our season went downhill from there. 2022-23 season, we're coasting to the title, top of the league for months, and then suddenly William Saliba gets an injury and City catches up with Arsenal, we win the title. So really what you can do against these sort of injury situations is just basically your squad depth. And when we came into the season, we knew we were short. And the one last thing I mentioned in that video, I'll put a link in the description, was the fact that at the middle of the season, the winter window, we have a chance to bolster the squad. And clearly, it's not like you can't get. Yes, we need a striker. Everybody talks about it. It's not secret that we need a striker. Last season, some people argued that we get goals from every corner. Everybody was scoring. Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, Odegaard, even the defenders were scoring. And it looked like Arsenal could do fine without a striker, an out-and-out striker. But the fact is, this is one season where we're not really in form, and you don't get so many chances in the game. So you really need one very good striker who, even if it's only 1 or 2 chances, you bury that and you get the 3 points. So all we can do at this stage is basically hope that the last 1 week of the winter window, Arsenal are able to reinforce the team and get us that player that at least gives us a chance, to compete in the Champions League. Hopefully win that trophy, and at least give Liverpool a good run right down to the end. We can't control. They have potentially it's currently 6 points gap, and with 1 game in hand. You really can't control what they do, but if you pick up all the points as you go, you increase your chances. Officiating decisions, we really have no control over that, like I said. Squad depth, we can do something about it in this winter window. And then, of course, the last thing I talked about was, rotations. We found out that every time Mikel Arteta does some of these careless rotations, it just doesn't work out. You could hear these excuses like, we're short in defense, we don't have the right. The last time he was asked about why he keeps playing Thomas Partey in right back, he says he doesn't have someone else. For me, that doesn't cut it. You have to trust your defenders. There are players who you'll be surprised. You have somebody like some of our defenders that we have not even started games in months. They're sitting on the bench and they still play Thomas Partey in right back. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Every time we play Thomas Partey in right back, Arsenal have either drawn or lost. Case in point, Aston Villa, simple game we could have just won. We were 2-0 up, and we ended up drawing that game. Just in the entire 2024-25 season, every game we started Thomas Partey in right back, Arsenal have never won any of those games. It just doesn't work. And 2 reasons why that happens is we lose quality in the midfield, and then we also put an unnatural right back who just can't make as many runs as he should, and Arsenal end up short. For me, we must fix this season because the clock is ticking, and everybody at the end of this season will start to focus on Mikel Arteta and say what has happened to all the investment in the last 5 years and why are we not winning things. The Champions League for me is critical, and just because I think that's the most realistic major trophy Arsenal can compete for this season. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. As far as I'm concerned, we can't control what the referees do, but at least we can control how we manage our team and how we invest and get ready for the second half of the season. If Arsenal can sign the right striker in this window before the end of this window and get ready to give Liverpool a run and also make an intentional move in the Champions League to win it, not just to compete but to win it, we might look back at this season and say it was terrible. So to make sure that doesn't happen, everybody, I think the club needs to make a choice and make a decision to fix what they can fix, and at least make sure we make the right selection going forward. And hopefully, at the end of the season, we'll look back and say it was good. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one.